Welcome to the Hard&Soft Pro Wrestling Podcast. Yo. What's happening, Hard&Soft Nation? We're back at it again with another video for the nation, for the millions
and millions
of the Hard&Soft Nation members. Yo, what's up? It's Big Hard in the house, and you know who I'm rolling with. I'm going to let him introduce himself because there is no introduction needed. What's happening, bro?
What's up, dude? What's up, Big Hard? It's a big softy here. First off, shout out to Santa Claus, man. He got me the old Hard&Soft cup here, which I see in the background.
Yeah, it looks like we both got one delivered this year. So
we must have been both nice boys.
Oh, we were very good.
Dude, what up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Good. Just chilling out. We're looking to kind of recap what's going on in the world of wrestling towards the end of the year here. You know, we got New Year's Eve coming up, 2 days. We also have a pay-per-view coming up tomorrow, World's End, AEW. We do a little predictions video on that. Check out the card, see what's going on. What are you most excited for, Randall? Or what have you been most excited for lately? Like, what's the one thing in wrestling that's been pulling you in every week?
Well, I think just wrestling on TV will pull me in. I am the big softy. Doesn't take much for me.
True.
What a time in wrestling, dude. Like, first off, it's going to be the new year, right? And the big softies turned soft over here, and he's going to thank AEW, man. I'm thanking AEW because I think they're a big part of how we've gotten here. What a time in wrestling on both sides. I remember distinctly a time not too long ago where having CM Punk return and having a match like Hangman and Swerve had at Full Gear a month ago wouldn't have been an option. That, like, before, when I was, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, before AEW came on board, there was a bunch of, like, could you imagines in wrestling. Could you imagine if this happens? And there was, like, no chance of it happening. Now we're at a time where I thought there was no chance CM Punk would come back, but WWE does it, man, like, just for the big moments. So I think wrestling's healthy as ever. And what's your favorite time in wrestling, Chris? Is it the Attitude Era?
I mean, I guess I would have to just go ahead and say the Attitude Era. That's when I was young, growing up. I mean, I started watching wrestling before Attitude Era started, but I mean, Attitude Era was pretty badass time. High school era, you know what I mean? So it was definitely cool. But when you look back on it, it really wasn't probably the greatest. I mean, a lot of the stuff that was going on was just nothing was really that good. There was really no good storylines. I mean, there were, but I mean, a lot of the stuff was just throw it at the wall and see what's going to stick, you know? Vince Russo was big in that, just kind of. But one good thing I will say about Vince Russo is at least he was giving people a chance to get on TV. You know, the story, you might not have liked it, but at least people were getting TV time and making use out of what they had. But going back, I don't know. I think the Ruthless Aggression was a pretty badass time in wrestling, actually. And after Ruthless Aggression, it kind of just kept going down and down and down. And you know, now, you say AEW started up and WWE kind of had to change up what they were doing. You know, they weren't the only people around, so it wasn't just, so cut and dry. And actually, right now, I can actually sit and watch an episode of Raw. I mean, Raw is a little bit harder to get through, I would say, than SmackDown. Just the 3-hour thing, and that tends to be a lot more of backstage stuff and recaps and this and that. I'm liking all wrestling right now. I don't want to hate on anything right now because we'll do plenty of hating, I guess, when we start doing the World's End card. But honestly, like the CM Punk thing, it's pretty awesome. He's back in WWE. He just had that match at Madison Square Garden with Dominic, looking pretty good. And then you go back and, like, now I'm looking at, like, Edge. Okay, this big thing before he signed with AEW. Like, where is Edge going to go? This huge thing. And, he shows up and, I mean, I don't know. what's going on now with Edge. I get it, the whole
Yeah,
Christian thing, but we've seen the Christian thing, and yeah, it's been years and years and years, but Edge is talking about I'm going to be at every TV, and then like 3 weeks after he comes back, we go see Dynamite in Philly, and he's not even there. But he's going to be there every week, and he's going to be wrestling all these stars. Well, who's he wrestling? Nick Wayne and Christian.
are you
Um,
saying Nick Wayne's not a star?
yeah, I am definitely saying Nick Wayne is not a star. Um, but like you just look at those two right there, like Edge, this huge name coming to AEW, and yeah, it was a huge thing. But really, like, what is it now? CM Punk. I mean, AEW had this guy, and what do they do with him? They let him go. And we'll get more into the devil thing later, but I swear, if they reveal that devil to be Jack Perry, that will be
I
death
don't
to
think that's gonna be the
AEW.
case.
I really hope not. But I think what most intrigued me this year, maybe it kind of stinks with the Bloodline storyline. It started off so hot in the beginning of this year, and just halfway through, it kind of faded out a little bit. And that's Roman's been gone, and I think the Bloodline story was one of the best things going in WWE. But now I think they have a couple different things going, which is good because it's not just one faction and that's it. So I'm liking everything going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just like my point is, I think this era in wrestling is making a strong argument that this might be the best era ever in pro wrestling. I mean, the WWE's breaking all these records, attendance, and I mean every kind of monetary thing. They just at MSG, it was the biggest gate or whatever, biggest show ever, non televised. I think wrestling's as healthy as ever. I think wrestling's everywhere too, and it's become cool again to be a
Yeah.
wrestling fan, which is pretty awesome. Um,
Yeah, I was at the gym yesterday and I saw somebody wearing an AEW shirt. I was very
yeah,
tempted to walk up and say hi, but I mean I didn't because I didn't want to be a weirdo. But
yeah,
it's kind of cool.
that's
You go
true.
everywhere you go. Like I always see people wearing wrestling shirts now. I don't know. It's different. It
Well,
used to be
again,
those shirts sat in your closet and you never wore them.
right, like again, WCW came around back in the day and made wrestling cool. You had the NWO, and countless stars, but then you had Bret Hart and Steve Austin, and like you'd see people on the street wearing those shirts. Now we're almost there again, where
Yeah.
those vintage T-shirts are popping up, and people will comment on them and tell you, "Hey, man, nice shirt." If wherever you are. Speaking of nice shirts, dude, shout, and they don't need us to shout them out, but
Oh
Suplex
yeah.
Vintage Wrestling, man, I
They got
think
the best.
their store is awesome. The 3 floors, we haven't been there. We've only been on the first floor so far, but like, how about us going to that watch party for Survivor Series? They could charge at the gate to get in the door. They don't
Yeah.
charge
And
anything.
it's free to just go hang out. And I mean everybody the cool thing is like everybody there is a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
So when you walk in there, it's like instead of just watching the pay-per-view at home by yourself, if you're in the area, it's like everybody's there and you don't even know anybody. And I mean and everybody just hangs out and has a good time with each other, which
yeah,
is pretty cool. There's not many
and
places to do that.
I think their podcast. I don't know if you've caught any of that, Chris, but
Yeah, yeah,
they
definitely.
have a pretty cool pod. It's honestly maybe the best wrestling podcast that I've listened to, and that's obviously not Conrad Thompson. What he does is cool, but they have great chemistry, and I think their show is very entertaining.
Yeah, that definitely is. And those guys are the coolest, man. We see them usually every time we go to shows. So, yeah, we'll probably be back down there in a week when we go because we're going to be going to MLW January 6th, ECW Arena, 2300 Arena.
Yeah,
Matt Riddle
that's
versus
crazy.
Jacob Vatu. Going to be pretty cool. I don't really know anybody else that's on the card. There's a lot of people I haven't seen before, but I'm excited to go see it. We haven't seen an MLW show live. So, I mean, of course, we'll head down to the Suplex Vintage Wrestling store. I mean, how can we not?
Yeah. So, dude, we haven't had a podcast since it, but Swerve and Hangman, did you catch that death match that they did?
I mean, I haven't been able to sit down and watch the whole match, but I did go and watch like a clip reel of the match. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, if we're like if I'm recapping the year, that's definitely one of the top matches of this year. And one of the when Hangman, I thought the promos between the two were the best work that Hangman's done. I think Swerve is certainly the next guy for
Oh, Swerve
AEW.
is Swerve is the man. And to be honest, I can't see how they didn't have him win that uh the Continental Classic Gold League or whatever and go to the finals. I don't understand that. I mean, and
Yeah.
here, like, the one reason I don't think they had him go for it or win that is because, like, Eddie Kingston puts up this Ring of Honor TV title and NJ New Japan Wrestling Strong title, and there's going to be another title that's three titles combined, and it's like, to be honest, who cares about any of those titles?
Well,
And
dude, if there's one
they
thing that
probably don't want to put
AEW
that on
needs,
Swerve.
if there's one thing that AEW needs to get
Oh,
back on track, it's more titles, man. Come on.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm hoping they're gonna come up with another women's title, maybe a women's trios tag title. But we'll get into that later.
But
I am excited for Royal Rumble coming up, though. I mean, the end of the year always means Royal Rumble season, and we're in the thick of it right now. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, it's one of those two winning. I mean,
yeah, you know what's cool again? Like, I think I forget what I was watching, but it was what's the guy's name? I can't think of his name.
Michael Hayes.
Michael Hayes. He was saying that, this business is about creating moments, and when a match starts and you don't know who's going to win or lose, someone in the back is doing their job. And I think this year, like, we're close to WrestleMania with the Royal Rumble coming up, and I can't really give you a strong prediction on what they're going to do. There's so much that they can do. And, you said Roman's been gone, and I think he's only wrestled maybe 11 times this year. But the company is as strong as ever. There's so many baby faces in the WWE. Now you just added Punk, and Roman's as hot as ever. People are like, how can you have Roman Reigns be the wrestler of the year? To me, at the end of the day, the wrestling business is about how can you do as little as possible and draw the most money.
And he's doing it.
And Andre the Giant did it back in the day. Hulk Hogan did it back in the day. And now Roman Reigns. I mean, he only has to wrestle 11 times, but every Roman Reigns match is huge. Huge.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, just name somebody that's a bigger name than him right now.
So is it going to be Roman and Randy at Rumble? I think have they confirmed that?
I don't know. Did you see the supposedly leaked card?
I did.
Okay. So I mean, they're saying Reigns and Orton, and I mean, I pretty much thought that's what was going to go ahead and do. I mean, I could see AJ versus Reigns too, though, and they can hold off on the Orton part of it. But
I remember last year they had the leaked Rumble, and it was not true at all.
Yeah,
so I'm not even buying into that.
I'm sure that thing is not true. But I mean, honestly, like, the matches, it's really not hard to predict what matches are going to be at the Rumble. You know what I mean? It's a couple title matches.
So
but yeah,
let's talk what about WrestleMania, dude? What do you think?
Like, well, I don't know. I think that's got to be Cody and Reigns.
Cody, to be
honest, and I think Seth and Punk.
I agree.
It's kind of funny though. It's kind of funny if CM Punk headlines night one, just because of the comments that he made in AEW to MJF about going to the other place and headlining a night 4 of a buy one get one free WrestleMania extravaganza. Yeah. But hey, night 1, night 2, it doesn't matter. I like that they do night 1 and night 2 because honestly, those 8-hour shows or 7 to 8 hours.
I like it.
It's too much.
I like it too.
It's too much in one day. I mean, you get 2 nights of good pay-per-views.
Right. And it'll sell. I mean, obviously, it's going to sell out. They're going to pack out any arena in the world that they want to do. I think it's awesome. When Punk returned, what a moment. I couldn't even believe it. I was at Suplex Vintage Wrestling. Go to their Instagram. Look at the look at that video, dude.
You're right there in the video. Big Hard got a little too toasted that night. And had to make an early exit. So, I got home in time for the CM Punk thing, but I wasn't at the shop.
So he comes out, and I said right away, whenever he comes, out on live TV and he's cutting a promo, and whoever comes out, whoever's music hits, it's gonna be huge. So Monday Night Raw, he chooses Monday Night Raw, and Seth Rollins is the guy that they pick to make his walk, and the place goes crazy. What a moment between Seth and Punk, right? You're blurring the lines of what's real, what's not. It's as close to Rock and Austin. Their stare down was as close to Rock and Austin, I think, that we've ever gotten since that
Yeah,
time. So,
the promo between Seth and CM Punk was great, man. That night on Raw. I mean, they both did awesome. I mean, that was one of Seth's greatest promos I've seen in a while.
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see that match. And honestly, I don't need to see Punk and Reigns right now. That could hold off. I think Punk and Rollins is a great match, and I don't even think Punk needs to win. I almost
No,
think
yeah.
Rollins needs that win.
Well,
Punk,
I think that was the interesting thing, Chris, when like I was thinking if Punk ever went back to the WWE, he's obviously gonna have to be willing to put guys over, right? Like,
oh yeah, 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 definitely. And I mean, it sucks for AEW because they really had a lot of story with Punk. I mean, they could have been making so much more money. I mean,
well,
they really dropped the ball. And I mean, I don't know if Punk had any, it could have been a lot on him, but the whole situation sucks. But hey, at least we're still seeing CM Punk on TV right now. So, it
yeah,
sucked that he left, and it's almost like inevitable that he's going to go back to WWE. But then it's like, well, he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? I'm sure he has enough money. It's not like he needs it to go for the money, but I think he wants to be there. It's funny
mm-hmm.
because like everyone wanted this bitter Punk, and it'll come. Don't worry. Give it a couple months, and Punk's gonna turn and start ripping into people. But let it play out. I mean, it is what it is. I like the happy Punk for right now. You know what I mean? At least he looks like he wants to be there. It could all be an act, but
Yeah, I am waiting for when CM Punk gets away from the I'm happy to be back. I love the fans, and I think that's how he truly feels. So,
I
but I
think
am waiting. I'm waiting for him to dig in a little bit and then go after whatever story they're going to tell.
maybe like a loss to Rollins puts that into
Yeah,
fast forward or something like that. But I don't know. It's up in the air because I don't know who's gonna win the Rumble. I feel like Punk should probably win so he can call out Seth Rollins and
well,
then
I don't think Punk needs to win the Rumble to go after Seth's title. I think they just need to plant a seed that night, whatever it is.
unless I just think the other person is gonna win Elimination Chamber. So which if Cody wins the Rumble, then Punk will win Elimination Chamber, and if because Cody will win the Royal Rumble and then he'll challenge Roman Reigns or whatever, and then it could be set
Could
up
be.
for. I'm
I
excited
think
either way. Hey, we're gonna be there for both nights, so
I
you know
can't believe it.
I
And
could really
I
care
was sitting on
less.
the couch the other night and I texted you like, dude, we're gonna be at the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Honestly, number 40, like this is gonna be big. I'm expecting big things.
So am I, dude. Well, okay. So if I was gonna book it, right, I would book Punk's theme to hit, and I would have Seth's not gonna be in the Royal Rumble. He'll probably face Drew McIntyre later on in the night or earlier in the night. I would
Yeah,
have Seth interfere in his entrance somehow. Maybe as he's doing it's clobbering time, hit him with a stomp right there, run out. That's how I would do it, right? And
that wouldn't be bad.
I think that way, if then okay, you could do whatever. You could have Punk win at Elimination Chamber or whatever to get the title shot at night one. But I think that's going to turn Seth heel, which is kind of how I think they should do that. People are still going to yell his song or sing his song on his entrance, but I think that turns Seth heel, and at least you could go into night one with a lot of heat, and they're going to tell a great story. And then I would have Cody win the Rumble, and I think it's Cody and Roman, and I think it's time to start telling that story now, like start building into that with Paul Heyman again. I think their stuff when they did it last year was awesome, and I think that's night two again. Do you think The Rock comes back at all still?
I don't know. I don't really think he needs to. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't know. He's teasing something for Elimination Chamber in Australia, but I mean, what if Rock comes back and wins Elimination Chamber to get the shot at Roman Reigns?
Well, what do you mean? What is that? How it? I don't know,
Well,
dude.
I'm just assuming that's how it's going to play out. Like whoever wins the Rumble is going to call out one guy, and then they're going to have that big Elimination Chamber pay per view in Australia.
Could
So
be.
you know, didn't they do it last year? Whoever won the Elimination Chamber went after the other person.
Maybe I
I
can't remember.
forget how that happened, but I'm pretty sure. I just assume that's the way it's going to play out. But I
Yeah,
mean, Rock could come back, but I don't know. As much as you
you
want to
don't
see
need it.
Rock and Roman Reigns, you really don't need it.
You
I
don't need
mean,
it, man.
yeah, you could just have The Rock come out and just cut a promo. Have him come out and drink a beer with Austin. I don't know. That's good enough for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's so many top guys. There's so many baby faces in the WWE. I mean, look at the damn Survivor Series match. The God damn it. What the double cage? What's the match name? I
The
can't.
War Games.
War
It's
Games.
War Games.
God damn it. Pronouns, pal. Look at
He's
that
gonna
team of
puke.
baby faces with Randy coming back. I mean, all those guys are top dudes. MJF. What do you think of his work lately?
I mean, MJF is great. It's definitely just. I think it's just getting stale. I think the whole devil thing is just kind of souring on me because it's just. And I know that I like to see things play out, but it's. I don't know. It's just too much. And then, like the one thing that was kind of corny is like the devil putting these words up on the screen, and then it's like Samoa Joe attacks MJF, and then it says "pleasure doing business." I don't know. I just thought that was kind of corny. Like pleasure doing business with like you're the devil. I don't know. It's just I, I assume it's gonna be like Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole.
Yeah, it's got to. The Devil's got to be Adam Cole.
So,
Has
and
to
then
be.
this is my thing. If
Which is,
literally
I like that. I like that.
if they bring all three of them as the group, so what? They're just doing Undisputed Era, the same thing they did in WWE.
Well, that's what AEW is, dude. It's all the friend. They're
I
just friends.
mean, people are trying to say it's Ziggler, but
That's cool.
they could
I'm in
say
on that.
that, but then they have to go back and explain how Ziggler was the devil, even though he was on a 90-day no compete clause contract. You know what I mean? So,
You're going hard in there, man. You sound like Meltzer right now.
well, you know what's gonna if that happens, people are gonna ask, well, how is he the
Yeah,
devil?
yeah.
He had a no compete clause. You know what I mean? So, like, who would you want the devil to be? That would be a good payoff.
Big Dick Johnson.
Well, that would be great. All oiled up, and he just comes out in the thong.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon. God damn it. What if that happens?
Oh my god! So here's like okay, like a fantasy booking that CM Punk would be the devil. You know that Tony Khan just told CM Punk that this is all a work, okay? And Tony Khan told CM Punk to go get hired by WWE, and then CM Punk's gonna walk out on his contract, show up as the devil, and Tony Khan's like, "I will pay every legal fee, every fine that you get for walking out of your contract or blah blah blah." I mean, that would be the best person would be CM Punk, but obviously that's not going to happen. So second best for me would be Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
That would be like Lex Luger back in the day. Didn't he work? He worked like a Saturday night's main event, and then the Sunday pay per view for WCW showed up.
Well, no, Lex Luger came back on the first episode of Nitro.
Right, right.
Uh, Rick Rude, they
Oh,
had
Monday night. That's right.
Rick Rude on a taped Monday Night Raw appeared on WCW Nitro the same night that they taped it, and Rick Rude was in DX with a beard
Yep.
in the middle of the ring, and when he came out to Nitro, he was clean shaven. So I mean, that was pretty cool.
What a crazy time! And so,
what happens if it's Shane McMahon?
shout.
The name on the contract says McMahon, but it says Shane McMahon.
What a moment!
No, obviously those are just
shout out to the Hard&Soft research department, because a lot of those notes are in our next podcast for we're going to cover the screw job, the Montreal screw job, and everything along that goes into that time.
Our
So the
research
Luger and
Our
dude.
research and writing department is insane. We have a whole crew.
You should pay him more money.
Yeah, we're trying. We're
This
trying.
this MJF babyface run now. His match at Full Gear, he's complete. I think he's so banged up. I think his hips hurt, his shoulders hurt.
Yeah,
Uh, I
he
mean,
needs a break, man.
well, that's the AEW style.
But
I don't know.
yeah,
It's too
well, he
much.
does
It's
need
too
a
much.
break, but he's their biggest star right now. So it's
Oh,
like
by
they can't.
far.
It's just like Moxley. It's like Moxley doesn't need to win this tournament. All right, and he's one of their biggest stars, so they got to keep him on top. It's like if they would lose MJF right now, or if they didn't have him for TV every week, that would be bad because people look forward to seeing MJF. And
Yeah,
yeah, I did like him as a heel better, but he does have to be able to be a babyface. And I mean, the guy's getting jacked. He's looking good. He's good in the
hell yeah.
ring. He's good
He's
on the
definitely one
mic.
of the best wrestlers in the world. But I think this whole babyface run, Chris, is when people were asking, would you want to see him in the WWE? They were like, no, because he wouldn't be able to be what he is right now. The heel babyface or the
Yeah,
heel MJF that would flip off reporters and all. So I think honestly, this screams to me that he's just showing the WWE that he can do something different. He doesn't have to be just this dirtbag heel. He can be a
I mean that
babyface. He
is
can. It's that's what it all seems like to me. He's just showing the WWE that he can do. He can work the other side, and that's. I think he's going to the WWE, and I think he's going to the WWE soon.
yeah. AEW should really. I hope they already re-signed him. I mean, for their sake. Um,
That got
but if
leaked, but I think MJF dismissed that. That it's not the case.
so that he did sign.
No, I
I mean,
don't
I
think he's.
hope. Well, I didn't see anything that he did get signed. I'm just saying, like, for off the top of my head, I'm just like Tony Khan. He better have re-signed him already. I
Yeah.
think the worst thing they could have done for MJF was not team him up with Adam Cole, but put the Ring of Honor tag titles on him. If they were going to put the tag titles on him, just do the AEW tag titles. Okay? So why are they that's what I mean. It's just diluting MJF with Ring of Honor tag titles for no reason. Like, who cares about the Ring of Honor tag titles? If it was the AEW tag titles, at least it'd be more intriguing, you know? And so the Devil's Henchmen, you don't even know who they are. I swear, I hope it's a good reveal because I don't want it to be a bad reveal because that's going to be just bad, man. I really want
Well, do
something
you think
good
it's
because
guaranteed that they
the
make the reveal
storyline has
tomorrow?
been. I think they have to. I mean, if
Yeah.
people pay money for the pay per view and they don't reveal it, I mean, it has to because MJF is going to lose. That's another reason why I think he's going to WWE, just like you said. I mean, the Devil's should be revealed tomorrow, and if he's revealed tomorrow, that means he's going to help Samoa Joe win the title. And
Well,
if MJF loses that title, that's almost a sure sign that he's going.
it's that's interesting because I think he's hurt. I really do think he's working. I think he was hurt before Full Gear, and I think that match with Jay White, I think he got more hurt with some of the stuff. That match was crazy too. The thing that sucks about AEW's pay-per-views are great, but I mean, we'll get into this one. There's like 70 matches, so the main event, regardless of the story, has to go out there and do. I mean, MJF did the cutter on the outside. I've never seen that in my life. And then he did the elbow. He put him on the table. The table dropped, and he still dropped the elbow. I mean, he did crazy spots. But I think he got hurt there. So there's two things. He could jump ship and go to the WWE because he's going to lose the belt, or he just needs time off. And AEW is certainly not in a position where they can't have their world title on every night. I mean, no one will watch the show then.
No, and honestly, that's my main gripe about AEW right now is the title scene. I mean,
Yeah.
AEW, the company itself, has enough titles, too many titles, but then they're also adding all these Ring of Honor titles to the AEW television. It's too much. It's Tony Khan. It's like he's sitting there and he has his figures and he's like, oh my God, I have 20 title belts and they all have to be on TV. But like just nobody cares about Ring of Honor titles. And okay, so people do care, but the people that care are the diehard wrestling fans.
Yeah, I think for me, dude, like I'm a fan of story, obviously, but story builds at the end of the day, it builds big matches and big moments. Like if you would have asked me what's my favorite time in wrestling, I don't have a favorite time. I just have favorite moments. Like I can think of moments like you're wearing that shirt right now with all the like the 70s and 80s and early
Yep,
90s
old
guys. I
school
can
guys.
think of Andre and Hogan. I can think of obviously Brett and Shawn, and then I can think of moments in the Attitude Era. I can think of moments now. The problem with AEW is they have so many titles, it dilutes their programming, but their programming is all over the place. It's hard to keep up with. So they appeal to the wrestling fans that just like professional wrestling. Like they'll put the TV on and sit down for 2 hours and just watch pro wrestling. It's just like the UFC. Like there's fans of the UFC that know all the fighters' names and just want to watch fights. I'm not necessarily that guy. I like to tune into the big fights when there's a dude that's a piece of crap and I want to see him get beat up and I want to see him win. I want to see the title move. I want to see big moments and big matches in wrestling. I don't necessarily love to just watch professional wrestling. I mean, that's true. Like if I'm watching a match between two guys that I really don't know why they're in the ring, and even if it's a great match, I don't really care. You know,
It's kind of like when we're at live events sometimes, and we don't know who we're seeing. It's sometimes you tune out, and I mean,
yeah,
and the thing about that you're saying, like MJF, he did all these awesome, like that cutter on the outside is awesome, but I mean,
crazy.
he had to do stuff like that because the 9 matches before his, they all went crazy.
Right.
I mean, for Christ's sake, Hangman Adam Page is drinking blood and spitting it in the air. I mean, they had that
Which was,
awesome match.
dude, that was one of the craziest things I've
So I
ever
mean,
seen in my life.
oh yeah, like that match was great. They could have not done that spot though. They could have just left that go. I'm
Loved
sure
it.
they did all the testing and stuff like that to make sure that everything's good. But
You
yeah, I
think they
mean,
did that in ECW back in the day?
oh god, yeah, no way, they didn't care. But yeah, I mean that spot was awesome. They didn't have to do it, but I mean just the visual with Hangman spitting the blood. I mean,
Yeah.
jeez. But then not only that match was crazy and awesome, but the other 8 matches on the card were also boom, 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 boom. So
It's
I
not, dude,
heard
it's not wrestling. It's not what wrestling Booker T said it. And Booker T's, I think I mean, he doesn't talk. He doesn't,
Booker!
yeah. Dude,
5-time, 5-time.
time. That's not what wrestling is.
Hulk
like, speaking of moments,
yeah.
That's not what wrestling is. It's not about hitting everyone's finish and kicking out of everyone's finish. That's not professional wrestling. Bret Hart, we'll get into it when we do our Screwjob episode and everything about him. But if you watch his matches, man, like 4 minutes in, he kind of sinks you in, and the stuff that he's doing, it's like, wow, that looks like it really hurt. That looks like, but it was all working towards setting up the sharpshooter for later on in the match. And Brett said it best, man. You should be able to, untie your boots at the end of a match and feel like you had a long day, but go home and spend time with your family and be okay. And I don't think a lot of AEW wrestlers, you think Darby Allin can go home to his family and, enjoy holidays and all, sitting in, he probably can't sit right. And like, that's not what wrestling is. Anyway. All right. Let's get into World's End, and
yeah,
it's going to be tomorrow night. And once again, an AEW pay-per-view. My computer screen can't hold the whole card, so
I'm just going to use my phone here.
We got. Are you going to buy the pay-per-view?
You know what? I'm
tossing and turning about it.
I'm debating it. You know what I mean? I kind of do want to see the devil thing play out. I kind of am excited for that. It is a long card, but yeah, it's possible. I don't know exactly what I'm up to, so if I end up just doing nothing and staying home, I mean, I don't know. Is it Call of Duty or is it World's End? I don't know. We'll see.
And at the end of the day, we talk about the devil thing and how kind of hokey it was, and I think last week's Dynamite was hokey.
Oh God! But hey, I'm still intrigued though.
Well, and that's what I'm getting to. I thought the triple threat match that started the show was good. Like, good wrestling's good wrestling, and I'm not going to shit on good wrestling. I thought
No, that
Swerve,
was a great
Jay
match.
White, and Moxley, I thought Moxley looks great. I really like Swerve, and I think Jay White's a star too. It's just, what do you do with all these guys? But I thought Danielson and Kingston, that match is exactly what I like. They started off kind of doing the shoot fighting, and Danielson was the heel, and he was going under the ropes and laughing, and Kingston was like, come on, fight me. And it turned into a fight. Of course, they had to go to the outside, but I thought that was great. So Dynamite was corny. It had a corny feel. I thought the Edge and Christian thing was kind of like, whatever. Whatever, I'm in. And
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
just
going to call him
so
Adam Copeland. He's Edge.
yeah,
Okay?
I'm just so tired of the Nick Wayne and his mom, and it's just I don't know. It's just stupid. Like Nick Wayne must be relative with Tony Khan or something like that. You know what I mean? I have no idea.
But and the devil thing was kind of hokey. I liked Samoa Joe at the end with the chair shot, a la Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. That's exactly what I thought of.
Yeah.
But
Seth Rollins and the Shield.
it was hokey, but you just said it. I'm intrigued, and you know what that does? It makes us think about buying the pay-per-view, which draws money. So again,
Yeah.
once again,
And if I
MJF.
buy the pay-per-view, I hope it's not a letdown, but it probably won't be. I mean,
MJF
come
is
on.
doing his job. He's a storyteller, and that's why we might tune in to see that. And I think that's exactly why he's going to the WWE soon. Mark my words. Anyway, the
Let's get
20-man battle
going.
royal. Chris, you have a
Oh,
prediction for this? I don't even know who's in it. It's for a future AEW, the prestigious TNT Championship match.
whoa, the TNT Championship. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who's in this match. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out a random AEW name and just I'll say Danhausen.
Danhausen goes over. I'm gonna go with Scotty 2 Hotty.
Scotty Too Hotty. There you go.
Did you see he came back?
I mean, and
Did you see him come out?
I love it. And I heard he even I didn't see it, but I heard that he used his WWE entrance theme.
He did. He did. I heard it on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hook.
I like that.
Hook
And here's
for
and
the
here's the shitty thing is the 20-man battle royal is like the prize is a shot at the TNT championship. Like, okay. That's negative number one. Okay. And they haven't even started the pay-per-view yet. All right, let's go with the next one. And this is still not the pay-per-view, right?
No, I don't think so. But you know what's crazy?
Okay.
I bet Meltzer's report is going to say one of the best battle royals of all time.
Oh, yeah. And Danhausen is going to be putting spells on people.
We got Hook versus Yuta. I think this is why you're tuning in big hard. For the FTW championship, who you got?
Like Hook versus Yuta. You couldn't name two people I could care less about. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be a double count out. Both lose.
That's what I think that's what Brett and Sean thought the finish was going to be. Then we got Moxley and Kingston for the championship final. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say Hook retains.
Okay. So now we're on to the actual pay-per-view.
We got Moxley.
So you're saying Moxley. So okay. So I mean, it's going to be Eddie Kingston that wins.
You think?
And to be honest, here's the only thing. Here's the reasoning why he has these two titles that nobody cares about. Okay, they're going to be combined with the prestigious Continental Classic win into a superior title, a three-way crown title, mind you. Wow, this is going to be awesome. Eddie Kingston is great on the mic. He's a great hype man, this and that. I don't need to see him in the ring. I know that people are going to hate on that, but I could really care less about Eddie Kingston and these three trios titles that he's going to have now. And Moxley's just there to put him over because he needs somebody big to get a win over. And who's the big star? Mox.
I was watching Dynamite the other night, and could you imagine if Moxley went back to the WWE?
He should, but he makes comments as if oh, I would never go back, and that place sucks, this and that. But hey,
yeah,
so
did
everybody else.
Yeah, and I think their big gripe was Vince's booking was so blah. Like nothing cool
And it
happened.
was. His stuff was bad. Mitch the plant and yeah, it was pretty bad. But if he came back now, he'd have a killer run, I'm sure.
Well, it's certainly. I think there was times, and AEW shot themselves in the foot numerous times. Uh, but there were times from 2019 up until now where it's like I don't know who the bigger show is. Like who puts on bigger matches, bigger moments, yada yada yada. I think now for sure the WWE is leaps and bounds the big time
I
network.
think
The
I think
big
Tony Khan
so
maybe got too comfortable because he was doing. I mean, it was just like everything was all AEW, and he got comfortable like Vince McMahon did. He thought he could just put whatever on TV and
right,
nobody, you know, everything I'm doing is great. And
right,
yeah, and honestly, AEW is good. It's a great product, but there's a lot of stuff that he puts on there that he thinks is great that isn't. That starts tuning people out slowly after time, and like put it out there and it's a fart in church. All right, then let's not do it again. But I mean, he just keeps
huh.
going and rolling with it. You know what I
Part of
mean?
church.
So
That sounded like a JR ism right there.
I think that is a JRism. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, who do you think's winning that?
Uh, I guess Kingston, right? I mean, if they're gonna unify, if that's the thing for this tournament, okay, then they're gonna do that. We got Julia Hart versus Abaddon or Abandon or whatever.
Man, I can't wait for this one.
I
No,
think
I'd
this
say
is the Uber Eats match of the night where you go down and get your delivery. Uh,
I'm gonna go with Julia Hart though. She's
me
not gonna
too.
lose the title
Me
here. She
too.
just won it. Um, so and that is for the prestigious TBS
That's right.
championship.
I
So
might see if I can't order one on
wow.
Facebook Marketplace. Anyway,
Yeah.
Timeless Tony Storm versus Riho for the AEW Women's World Championship. I got Tony Storm. I actually like what Tony's doing.
Yeah, no, the timeless thing, it's good. Hey, at least she has a character going,
Yeah,
and she's
and
on
she's Rule
TV
Tide.
every week. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, timeless Tony Storm. I don't want to I don't want to hate on Riho, but I mean, come
Who
on,
is she? When she like she makes those
she's
like
Kenny Omega's friend.
okay.
That's who she is.
I don't like what she's been doing, and I don't like this in general when people run down the ramp and then there's going to be a brawl, but their brawl is gymnastics. Like it's Hurricane Ranas and top rope moves. Like a brawl should be
Yeah, what kind of who
fists.
does that in a brawl?
Yeah.
Well, hold on, let me jump off this chair and wrap my legs around your head and flip you around the room.
Well,
It's
no,
like,
Chris. Like honestly, like if I'm gonna show people wrestling, I want them to look at stuff that looks
oh,
real.
oh, so if like you're gonna show somebody a first time wrestling match, you're instead of going to like Steve Austin and Bret Hart, you're gonna go to a Dan House and an Orange Cassidy tag team match against Dark Order.
And it looks phony.
Yeah, no, but Rio is horrible, man. I mean, she looks like a 12-year-old girl. I mean, like they had Soraya go and put her over. All right, and people will be like, well, Soraya's hurt and she can only wrestle so many times a year. They do this with everybody that's big. So they bring back everybody that can't wrestle again, and let's bring them to AEW and let's see if we can trash them even more. Like
Right.
Soraya, yeah, she gets this big win in her home at Wembley, and then she just loses the title. It's just a ploy for Tony Khan to suck people in. Come see Soraya. She's coming home. It's like the other night on Dynamite. They have they're in Dallas, Texas. Whoa, better get the Von Erichs on TV. Got to get them there. It's a
Yeah.
Von Erich episode. Then
Yeah.
we're here. Oh, we better get them on TV. So yeah, okay. Well, let's get off that. Let's just get onto the card.
White hot
Yeah,
hard.
Rio's
Right
not
hot
winning.
big hard right there.
Rio's not winning.
Okay. Now we got Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, your boy, and Sting.
Oh yeah,
It's Sting.
it's Sting.
Speaking of Shivani, I don't know who was on commentary. It wasn't Taz, but it wasn't someone that's normally on commentary. But someone said that they got Shivani a Starbucks gift card for Christmas. It was awesome.
That is so good.
Versus the Don Callis family. and Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Who you got? I got obviously Sting and those guys are going over.
Yeah, those four are going over. Sting, Sammy, Jericho, Darby Allin. I mean, this sucks. I mean, so Kenny Omega got injured, so they scrapped the tag team title match and then make it into an 8-man title match or tag match, and whatever. I mean, Don Callis family sucks. Okay,
Yeah. Yep.
is Don Callis should not be on TV. I don't understand what this infatuation with Don Callis is.
Well,
He is not
that segment on Dynamite last week was just cringy.
So corny. I mean, he's got
Sammy Guevara wasn't good in it at all.
What is he had a painting of himself with the Samoan tattoos? Like what was what was that supposed to be? I don't even bad. Like was that a shot at like okay, so when Jericho name dropped Enzo Amore on Dynamite like 2 weeks ago during that horrible promo out there with him and Kenny Omega, that just made me want to see Enzo on TV. You know what I mean? It just like makes you want to see Enzo. That would be so good. But I like Big Bill and Ricky Starks. I think that I didn't like that they won the titles from FTR. I was kind of like, what the hell? But FTR is injured, obviously. So I'm growing to like these guys. And then, Jericho's trying to make fun of them. And it's like, he's just making them look cooler because he's making himself look like a nerd.
You know what's crazy?
I honestly think Jericho might be checked out at the moment, too.
What's he? I don't, yeah. Did
you see that tweet have you seen him like talking online about the whole NDA thing for the CM Punk situation? How like
what is that about? I saw what they all.
I don't know. Whatever happened with Ace Steel and CM Punk or whatever happened.
What happened?
I have no idea. But
was this like a terrorist attack on our country? Like what was it? It was a fight backstage.
People are saying like they signed no NDAs for life, and then Jericho comes out saying like, I didn't sign anything, and I was there. I saw the whole thing, but he didn't say anything about it. Like,
do you think the only thing I can think of, and I don't think this happened, do you think Punk got his ass kicked? And maybe. Punk was like, fire me, I don't care, but I don't want my character. Like if Nick Jackson beat the fuck out of, excuse my language, beat CM Punk up, do you think that was the reason? I don't know.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think so.
Like, what could be what happened that's so bad? But it almost seems like Jericho's a little checked out too. Because I used to love Jericho on AEW, but I don't know. But I love Sammy Guevara, so I'm hoping that maybe they'll go back to Les Sex Gods, and I think Jericho and Guevara is a great team.
Who do you think they're gonna have Sting's retirement match with? I saw an article. Goldberg's in the news.
Goldberg.
Well, apparently Goldberg wanted to be Goldberg was going to sign with AEW so he could do the last match with Sting.
Well, that would be a huge mistake for Tony Khan. Because, I mean, who cares about Goldberg? And I heard he was saying something like he wants a retirement match because he put Roman Reigns over.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Like, dude, you almost killed The Undertaker. And I forget who he went up against before that, but it was also another really bad match, like that he couldn't perform. Like, who is Goldberg, dude? Like, who is Goldberg? He still thinks he's like awesome. He sucked back in WCW and he sucks now. But maybe Flair.
Dude, I think it's gotta be Darby Allin, right?
Darby Allin. We said it at the same time. Yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah. And he's gonna put Darby over and give Darby that rub. But Darby's about to take off to go climb Mount Everest. So maybe he won't need. Well, he still should be the one to beat Sting and put him out, unless they do something messed up. And I don't. I'm trying to think of like what would be like the worst person to beat Sting in AEW, or like that would get the most heat off of it. Like, who would that be? I'm trying to think of like somebody else, because nobody hates Darby Allin. They're gonna, and they're not gonna hate him for beating. So I don't think he's gonna get much heat off of that. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of somebody that would beat Sting that would actually get like booed out of the building. Because Darby Allin beats Sting. Sting's gonna get up and raise his hand. Put him over like Cena did. I'm trying to think of somebody that would put Sting down and then like spit on him after the match. But I don't think
Yeah, I
there
don't
is.
know. I don't. Well, the tough part about Sting, I mean, I'm not saying that there needs to be a big program. I guess his retirement, he had one of the best careers of all time, right? So it's like, but he can't talk on the mic. He's never been able to talk on the mic.
No.
Uh,
I
I
think
don't know.
Sting is like one of the best thing that Tony Khan has done in AEW was the way he handled Sting.
Okay.
Besides letting him go out there and jump off guardrails and crap, or the balcony and crap like that.
Well,
But
that's what's crazy about AEW, dude. Like, I only think they wrestle once or twice a week, which back in the day it was 7 times a week.
yeah,
And there's more hurt guys in AEW today than there were back in the day. I'm not saying that back in the day there weren't guys that were lazy, but I mean that's
I
the
think,
art of the business. You
yeah,
shouldn't be
and I
hurt.
think back in the day people were working hurt regardless. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well
You remember because they didn't. If you didn't wrestle, you didn't make money. So
yeah,
now,
get up.
now today, you got a guaranteed contract.
Right.
Don't matter. All right, let's go.
Um,
Let's go.
Big Bill and Ricky Starks, they're still the champs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Something I'd love, something I would love. I'm still a Hardy Boys mark. I would love. I think there's still one last run in the Hardys, but not with the Hardy Boys. Dude, I would bring back when Broken Matt and Brother Nero were in Impact or TNA or whatever it was back in the day, and
Yeah.
they would Matt Hardy's wife would play them out on the piano, and it was the broken gimmicks and the brother. Dude, I think that is still the best thing that they've ever done.
Yeah,
And
let
I
them do
think
that for a little.
I would love to see them come out, challenge for the titles, win the titles, not wrestle all the time, but as heels or whatever. I think the Hardys can get AEW World Tag Team titles over more than any tag team there, and I think they can do it with those gimmicks. And I don't know. I'm trying to say like Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is a great talent, but who even cares about the tag titles at this point?
Yeah, yeah. Not really anybody. Yeah, Hardys could put it over, and then FTR can take it back from the Hardys.
But I
You
think
know?
if you let the Hardys take it, they like tell me you wouldn't want to see their match on a pay-per-view in those broken gimmicks.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that'd be great. But they're
And
not
let
even
them
on this. They're not even on this
yeah.
pay per view.
Well,
They
cuz
have an
then
8-man tag match, and they can't even put the Hardys in.
well,
Instead, they put the
I
Don
think
Callis family in.
Matt Hardy's pissed about what they've done with them lately. And Matt Hardy's one of the guys that loves AEW. Anyway,
Yeah, let's get off our soapbox.
yeah, we said, God damn it, we said we wouldn't do it. Christian Cage versus Edge. Okay, it's Edge in
Yeah,
an ODQ match. You know this match is gonna be fire, dude.
yeah, this is gonna be a good match, and regardless of how I feel about the program between them, this is gonna be a great match. But Edge is winning this match. And then this is going to be the end of this feud, and
Yeah.
either they can put Edge and Christian together, or they can let Edge go and do his own thing on a singles run.
I
Um,
think Tony Khan has a chance to let Adam, or I almost said Adam Copeland. It's Edge.
Adam,
Let Edge and Christian go out and have their pay-per-view match that I don't think they've ever done together, right? So
yeah, I
they've
don't know.
obviously wanted to do it. Let them go do it. It'll be good. Edge should win the title. And now Tony Khan has a chance to make whoever he wants to make with Edge, right? Like, I don't know who would. I guess it would either be Kill Switch. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Luchasaurus. It could be Kill Switch or it could be Nick Wayne. I would love to see Kill Switch be made during this program. So I think there's the guy that could put Edge out of his misery.
If they put Nick Wayne over after all this, that'll come on, Edge.
Here's the thing: how can Edge wrestle? Edge can't wrestle half that roster. Half that roster dumps guys on their head.
Yeah,
and Edge
he's
has
not going
to
be doing stuff like that.
Anyway,
but
Keith
yeah, Edge
Lee,
wins that.
I agree. Keith Lee and Swerve. If Swerve doesn't go over here,
Swerve. Yeah, there's no way Swerve's not going over. This will be a great match, but I mean, I hate to say it, I just don't care about this match. They just put Swerve over like so much. You know what I mean? Like they put all this time into Swerve. Like he beats Adam Hangman Page twice. Okay, like he's just been on a tear. and then they make him lose the match. I understand they don't want to put that stupid title on him. Fine. But then they just go and throw him against Keith Lee, who's not even on TV ever. But now he's on a pay-per-view, and I'm supposed to care about Swerve versus Keith Lee. Okay, the only thing I care about is seeing Swerve come out and hearing his entrance theme.
Yeah, dude.
I hate to say that, too, because Keith Lee should be a big star. It's all these guys. They thought, I'm going to jump over to AEW. I'm going to be the top guy. Where's Miro?
Well, and that's the thing. Like Cesaro, look at Cesaro.
Miro, Cesaro. Where is he? I'm looking at the card. He's not even on this card. I mean
no, Miro is wrestling. I don't know. I gotta go back to the Hard&Soft researchers. Miro is wrestling. I think he's wrestling Andrade.
Oh, he is.
At
Okay,
World's
yeah,
End.
my bad. Okay, at least he's on the show. But I'm just saying, like, all these, it's just they should be a big star, But I think Swerve wins this. Keith Lee definitely doesn't need that win. Swerve needs this win to put him into the next story. I don't know who that's going to be with, but I think Swerve should be the next AEW champion. Next in line.
I think if MJF does win the main event, I would love to see MJF and Swerve.
Oh, that'd be a killer match, dude. That's the match they need to set up.
This is the last time I'll mark out about the death match. Did you see Swerve had a tribute to both Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt?
Oh, yeah.
With his gear.
Yeah, that was great, dude. That was great. Yeah, Swerve all the way, man. He's the man. We saw him at 2300 Arena before he even got to WWE in that match against Willie Mack.
Yep.
And we were sitting there like, holy crap, both of these guys, like, have they not made it? And then look at them now.
They went out and destroyed and made us remember. And I think they went almost an hour.
Yeah.
That night. And Willie Mack just made his AEW debut.
Yeah, Willie.
A couple weeks ago.
He's badass, man.
Okay. Miro and Andrade. I like both these guys. I think Andrade can work his ass off. And I like his gimmick. He's another guy that could be a big star. I don't know. There's just so many wrestlers. I think Andrade would be a good star, like if he went to Impact or another promotion.
Yeah, he could be number
and got
one.
Some more TV time. I'm gonna go with Miro going over. I think he's another guy that has untapped potential. I thought him as Rusev was good back in the day too.
Yeah, I'm thinking Miro needs this win, but I'm going to go ahead and say that Andrade is going to win. I think Andrade wins this match, but I think Miro needs the win more. But I think they want to keep Andrade happy, because they've really have been doing not much with him. So I think a win here will kind of put him onto hopefully another story. But I don't know, the whole thing with he has Miro's wife as his manager, so I guess they have a story there. But I mean, they're not doing much with that. So let's see what happens.
And there's just so many matches. So we get into now it's going to be the Blackpool Combat Club. You got Danielson, Claudio, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia versus Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Roosh. Dude,
So 2 J's. So in that match, the announcers are going to be saying, Jay, just tag Jay.
Yeah.
So Jay, tag Jay.
You're going to have Spot Fest match, car crash of a match.
And they're going to call Mark Briscoe, Jay Briscoe. Just like they were doing they did that on Dynamite the other night. 2 of the announcers called him Jay Briscoe during the match.
Jeez.
Instead of Mark Briscoe. And I mean, it's whatever. You get confused. But I just find it funny because it's all the names. There's so many same names. And people always complain that Vince changes their names. Well, it's because he doesn't want 2 people with the same name going against each other. But yeah, Vince has made some pretty crappy names. I will go with that. I mean, that one, the Piper Niven, the women's tag champ, they brought her in and called her Dewdrop. I mean,
Dewdrop.
What is a Dewdrop?
Could you imagine a time? Could you imagine a time where Vince is? I can't believe Vince is not involved right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, or in charge. I mean, I'm sure he's there. Yeah, it is crazy. All right, what's next?
So this 8-man match is gonna no one's gonna care. anyone in the crowd is going to be so dead at this point. They're going to need some
There's two,
oxygen.
so there's it's pretty cool that there's two 8-man tag matches on the same pay per view.
I miss the days where a pay per view was 4 matches.
Like at least they could switch it up and make these 8-way matches elimination style.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something
I'll
here.
go with Blackpool.
Yeah, I'll go with
I'm just
Blackpool
gonna
to
go with
win.
heels.
But like, yeah, I could really. That's one match I could really give two craps about, to be honest, and that sucks because there's a lot of good stars in that match.
All right, main event time.
Oh yeah, here we go.
A hurt champion, MJF versus Samoa Joe. I saw something on Instagram. It was Samoa Joe commentating for WrestleMania in his rain gear with his headset, and now he's in the main event of a pay-per-view. So, I mean, Samoa Joe is still great on the mic and still knows the business. So, he's still got some time. But I think, yeah, I think the devil gets revealed. I think it's Adam Cole. It's crazy that Samoa Joe is going to be the world champion, but I think MJF's going to lose.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like,
and I don't think that was what they want to do. I don't think that's what they want to do. I think he just is hurt and needs time.
Yeah, I don't think Samoa Joe should be the AEW champion. I don't know. I mean, Samoa Joe is a great wrestler and a great contender, but I don't know. I don't see the other wrestling company having Samoa Joe as their champion, and WWE has Roman Reigns.
I don't see that. I think when nothing with AEW makes sense, right? And who cares? I think the devil interferes and hits a super kick or something on Samoa Joe or something, and somehow wins the title. Whoever the devil is, I think it's going to be Adam Cole, and I think Adam Cole's the one that's going to walk away with the strap somehow.
I think the devil is going to come out. All right, he's going to try to cost MJF the match, but somehow is going to win MJF the match instead. Like, and they're going to try to attack MJF. They're going to hit Samoa Joe. MJF is going to get the pin, and maybe that's how the devil gets revealed. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense because if they don't have the devil come in and it's somebody great, and they don't make MJF lose the title, like if it's this thing where MJF does walk out with the title and the devil is revealed, still, that's bad. I really don't know how this plays out, which is one of the reasons I'm so intrigued. Like, you might think like, oh, I'm being negative about it, but I'm just trying to rationalize this. Like, it has to be somebody good. It can't be Adam Cole. That is not, I don't know. To me, that is not the devil, Adam Cole. Like, who is Adam Cole to be the number one of a company?
I just don't know who else would make sense. That
is
wouldn't
he
just be
still do the Panama Sunrise as his finishing move, because it's like the worst thing I've ever. It's like the worst move I've ever seen in my life.
Who else do you do that makes sense? I don't know.
There is nobody that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope maybe it's Wardlow.
Do you think? Let me ask you this, Chris. Do you think now the WCW? What a time that was! I think
it would have been Brutus the Barber Beefcake if it was WCW.
But like, they changed the business too with great live event television that was like, you couldn't believe what was going on. You had to tune in. AEW kind of did that. But then and then the NWO, Hogan's turn, that was such a big moment. And it was like, man, they did exactly what should have been done. And then the NWO got so diluted, and then the booking got so terrible. And then whose booking's worse? Do you think WCW's booking or AEW? And you've been around for both eras.
Probably definitely WCW, because
it was worse.
Towards the end, it got pretty bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, a lot of this stuff, it just, no one really cared. You know, I mean, at least people are still tuning into AEW and people are talking about it. I think back then it was kind of like people stopped even talking about WCW.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, like once the NWO started getting diluted and, you know, the whole Goldberg Kevin Nash thing with the cattle prod. I mean, that was kind of stupid. And
Yeah.
then you have the whole like Hogan and finger poke of doom and all that. Like at least we haven't seen stuff like that in AEW yet. I think
Well,
Tony Khan just needs to step back. And I don't think he should have
I
started
agree.
a wrestling company with wrestlers.
I agree. I think, and that's the thing about that time. And we'll get into this in our next episode. But like, what a time for Vince! How hard was that? But it all comes down to leadership. Like, nowadays, you're not going to go into Triple H's office and say, "I don't want to lose," and if you do, you're not going to be there long.
Yeah,
You can. It, I think WCW back in the day, like if Hogan didn't want to do what he didn't want to do, he wasn't doing it. That's what, more than anything, not just Hogan, but that's like that environment. I think AEW is a lot like that, which is there's pros and cons to that, right? They don't have written promos, which is great. Back in the day, their promos sucked for WWE, but they just go out there and do whatever they want. I think Tony Khan needs to get someone head of creative.
They might need to start having more bullet points in promos.
Yes.
Instead of letting people.
Well, they need structure. They need leadership. They need structure.
One that comes to mind is Edge and Ricky Stark. Well, Adam Copeland and Ricky Starks are out there going back and forth, and like Ricky Stark says something, and it almost looked like you could see Edge kind of getting pissed, and then he like brought up you're just a vanilla midget of The Rock,
which you shouldn't like. Right.
I mean, why is he bringing up The Rock and saying like,
right?
I get it, like you're on the spot, but here's the thing. Edge in WWE, he didn't have that much promos, and he probably had more of a bullet points and stuff. AEW is probably just like, hey, Edge, just go out there and do it. And yeah, Edge can talk like the best of them, but he's used to having a more, and then you get hit with a zinger out there, and your reaction is to try to think of the best zinger you can come back out with, but it's like,
right.
I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I really hope that they pay this off great. I really do. Because I feel like if they don't pay this off, it's just gonna hurt.
Is this the devil? I don't think.
Yeah, the devil thing.
I don't think there's any way for you to feel like they did a good job. I don't think there's anyone that like.
I know. It's just gonna. I think it's all letdown. I think the letdown is that the story's been played out so long that you're expecting a big return. Whereas I think this is going to be a small return. And I mean, I just don't see how anybody's going to get excited if Adam Cole takes the mask off. Like, to me, I just don't see it.
Well, the live crowd will. I don't know where you go from there.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if it's just for a pop, because I mean, what, Wednesday, then it's Adam Cole. I don't know. I'm hoping for big. I'm expecting the Swerve match to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston, as much as I don't want to see him in the ring, I think him and Moxley are going to have I think that might be the match of the night, Mox and Eddie Kingston, because Eddie Kingston's going to go out there and let Mox beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
There's a lot of vanilla matches. Again, there's just a lot of
vanilla midget rock,
vanilla softy, or the vanilla frosty. There's just
the vanilla frosty.
There's it's. I don't know.
We'll see.
It'll be a good live show, but it's not going to. The payoffs won't be great.
I don't think I'll be going on the network and watching it back 20 years from now.
No.
Like I do with the 2002 Rumble, pretty much once a week.
Hell yeah, dude!
Such a good Rumble, man.
I was on my new exercise bike that I got for Christmas. Softy's trying to lose a few lbs.
Woo!
And I was watching Cactus versus Triple H, man. 2000 Royal Rumble. What a match!
Can't go wrong, man. Cannot go wrong with the old school.
But what a great time in wrestling at the end of the day, and I was glad to get back on here and do another episode. But Big Hard, you got anything to let the nation know?
I mean, you know how I always do, nation. You know what the catchphrase is. If you're not hard, you're soft.
You're damn right. Big Hard. Have a good night, bro.
Peace out.